Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Alright, so we're going to take a look at Bitcoin today. We're going to look at Ethereum. We're going to look at Litecoin and a couple of the other top altcoins. But the overall arching effect here is that the market's still kind of bearish, still kind of blandish. And that's okay. We had a big, huge bull run. You have to be thankful for when you get those. And we did just come off of one. And altcoins just came off of a massive bull run. We're still seeing some good names posting some good numbers. But Bitcoin's kind of, everyone's got one eye on Bitcoin here. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. The past couple of days have been really interesting for Bitcoin. We had the final breakdown here through 13,000. Took a lot of volume. Look at all this volume it took to finally break 13,000. Take all those buyers out. Those all got sold out. We found a new set of buyers down here. Bought us up into here. But for now, we're living still under the 13,000 marker, which is right here. So that's 13,000. This bar here is actually $15 under 13,000 at the high. So we are under 13,000. What was a floor over here is now a ceiling, okay? So this was support, this now becomes resistance. 13,000 is now resistance. We're just going to have to see where we go from here. Let's go down to the shorter term time frame, to the 2-hour chart. And what we see on the 2-hour chart is a very nice, well-defined declining channel here, which set us up for this nice bounce to the upside on some really exceptional volume. This was very impressive for what Bitcoin's been able to muster ever since these lows. So this was a very good push to the upside. And right now we're kind of living under the shadow of that. Put a nice little kind of mini bottoming bar here, nothing crazy though. Living in this higher area, upward above this consolidation. What's going to put downward pressure on us from here is going to be these two trend lines. This trend line right here that these lines make, and then this is the upper declining trend line. From 20,000 down here to this low here at 17.2. So these trend lines are going to give us some pressure going forward, but I do think we kind of drill upwards in a boring fashion, kind of like this. This was a very boring market. So if you're sitting here holding Bitcoin, you're not too scared, not yet, but I think at some point we're going to end up getting, kind of a larger choppiness, kind of like this. Right, where we're going to bounce around up and down, kind of scaring people into both directions. It's just a choppy market, guys. It's still a choppy to downside market. We still don't have any real upside potential yet. When you get these big spike lows, you want to be in the markets. You want to pay attention so you can buy them to get some of that bounce to the upside. And then after you get the bounce, I generally just step aside and let the market play out, because it could just spike down on you quickly. It's really hard to tell exactly what these are going to do. So that's kind of how I feel about Bitcoin right now. I don't have any Bitcoin, just some in a trading account that I'm kind of playing in and out with, but a majority of my account's still cash. Let's take a look at Ethereum, if my chart will let me. There we go, Ethereum. So Ethereum, we kind of have a multiple high situation up here at the 1400 range. And then right now we have very much a lower high right now. This is an extreme lower high. If we it looks like we may get a little more upside here in Ethereum. Kind of have this trend line in place. So at some point here, it's probably going to come up and fail again, and we're going to end up going a little bit lower. I don't even want to call this a rising wedge. It's such an extreme type of a pattern there that, I guess it technically would be a rising wedge. Just seems fairly extreme to me. But it is a rising wedge. Looks like it's living within it. So we may get a downside play here at some point. But this upside trend line is going to give us a little bit of problems as we get higher, and then we may set another high, then go lower. So, but up here at the 1127 level, peaked out so far here at 1167. We don't have a massive topping candle yet giving us any kind of indication of a top. So what I will say is that if we do have a nice big peak volume bar, kind of like this guy right here, see how this volume candle kind of put the top in here. Now granted, I guess it is the all-time high, but it doesn't always have to be the all-time high. You can see these kind of spike highs. See this little green candle here, kind of spiking right there, kind of putting in that high. Most highs you can just see a little spike in volume. It doesn't take a whole lot, but look for that spike in volume to possibly take us down out of this uptrend in Ethereum. And then a Litecoin. Litecoin looks a lot like Bitcoin, just so much like Bitcoin. And this trend line is not in the right place. This trend line needs to be right there. Okay, so this is the trend line in Litecoin that we're living underneath. And, you know, you have to be wary of Litecoin until we get above this trend line. We can get a little lower. Keep in mind, this is our breakout here, all the way down at 100 and 103, 104, 105. Let's call it 105. This is our breakout here at 105. And, you know, we still have a little bit to go. We still could get all the way back down there. Litecoin does have a history of going back and testing old breakout points, going all the way back down and testing old breakout points. So we can see here with this big spike up to 100, this thing came all the way back down to this breakout point here at 52. I actually have a video about this breaking out here out of this base here at 52, and it came all the way back down and even spiked lower, went like 37 or something, whatever it was. I don't know. I've got apparently Litecoin new block discovered. Thanks. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, so 33. So Litecoin came 100 all the way spiked down to 33. So Litecoin does have a history of kind of having these big spike lows back to these breakout points. So I'm not necessarily, you know, I don't say you expect Litecoin to spike down to this 100 level, but it is possible. It does have a history of possibly doing that. All right, let's take a look at XRP. Bitrix against the US dollar here. And Ripple has had, out of the big three that were running recently, ADA, XLM, and XRP, XRP definitely showing the most deepest pullback. That's a 75% pullback, ladies and gentlemen. And as of right now, we're still down 53%. So that's an extraordinarily deep pullback. Now, pullbacks like this at the 75% level, these are usually kind of the max lows you get. So while some other coins may spike lower, I don't know if we're getting much lower in XRP, but you know, time will tell. Time will tell. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, still kind of getting over this cold, or flu, I guess. But we have this nice declining trend line in play. We could get a spike lower, which this would put in a nice inverse head and shoulders actually, and this would be a very, very exaggerated head and shoulders, because we just went over the percentages of this. If this did break, you know, say it broke over here, you've got a good upside action here to 250. So say it did break over here, that's a good 72% to the upside. You know, say we come down, come up, and then boom, spike up. So that could be a possibility. So you can get a very nice trade on Ripple, I think, over the bounce of this right here. We do have some nice volume here coming in at the bottom, some nice volume here at this bottom. Very weak volume here right before it just caved. No buyers came and stepped in. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this plays out, maybe it doesn't, but hey man, that's 72% staring you in the face on a very big dollar coin. This is not a small cap, so I would keep that in mind. Let's take a look at ADA, which is putting in one of the strongest. ADA is just such a strong coin. Such a strong coin. After all this action, you get a very, very well deformed base. And while Ripple was down 73%, ADA came down 55%. That's a much less exaggerated pullback, especially after the run that it had. Much less exaggerated. Although it did come back to this base, we're still near this basing level. But a lot of red here, as you can see, a lot of red, a few green spikes, but a lot of red. You're gonna want to see this. You're gonna want to see this subside, even after this symmetrical triangle plays out. I don't think we're gonna go straight up out of this. I think we're gonna get some sideways action, and you know, you have to look back to the market. You have to look back to the market. I think back towards October, we were kind of in this bear, sideways, choppy market, and that's the market we're in now. So just you have to understand the market. These breakouts don't always work. You're going to have a few things that break out and work, but a lot that don't. A lot they're going to give you false signals. So you just have to kind of expect that. And I think ADA, even though it's going to break a line, just because a coin breaks a line doesn't mean it has to run. Okay, it can pop up here and live sideways for a while before it tries to continue. Could shake us out. Could do a number of things. All right, so ADA. Let's look at XLM. Lumen's the last one we're going to look at here today. So these are the big three, and like I said, XRP showing more weakness than both of these three. This one's down 51%, showing a little more strength. So ADA and XLM, as you know, are platform coins. XLM has a lot more usage right now. I think, you know, ADA being a much newer platform, XLM being a much older platform. Lumens has a lot more a lot more usage in it right now. But we're very range bound in lumens. We kind of have this range with this high here and this high here, and then we have all these kind of spikes down here, kind of with that low. So we're range bound lumens right now, and I would anticipate being range bound for a while. But let's go. I actually don't have an alert set on this, it looks like. Let's go ahead and set an alert if we get above this area. I think I did have an alert in XRP. Did I have an alert in XRP? Let's go set that one real quick as well, actually. You want to set these alerts, ladies and gentlemen, because you can't be there to watch the markets all the time. But I do want to be notified when these coins go to try to make a move. So I do want to be there, and I do want to take advantage of these moves when they do come. If Bitcoin can hold sideways, if Bitcoin drops again, this trend will continue probably, and then I'll move my alert lower. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. A couple alerts set by me, a little bit of analysis of Bitcoin. Getting over my flu. Thank you for the well wishes, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate that. They did help, believe it or not. It's good to know that people are thinking about you and appreciate what you do. And I appreciate that you appreciate what I do. So thank you very much. Yeah, so Bitcoin, just keep an eye on Bitcoin. The 13,000 is going to be our ceiling for the time being. Probably going to chop around it for a while. I'll have a video out here shortly now that I'm feeling better. I'll try to do a video every day or two. And that's about that. So thanks for joining me. Have a good one.